Hi there, my name is Miss Maya Luke. I am the eighth grade teacher here for ELA at New West going into the 25-26 school year. So in this video, I am going to move pretty quickly through the curriculum, syllabus, materials, homework, grading, and Google Classroom. If at any point you need a little bit more information, please feel free to pause the video, and my contact information will be at the end of the video as well. So, like I said, this is my third year here going into the 25-26 school year. My greatest love is words. My biggest passion is putting that on to the next generations of kids, trying to get kids impassioned and interested in reading and writing. If I'm not teaching, if I'm not at school, you can usually catch me at the beach. I'm from the Bay Area originally, so the water, the bay, the ocean, truly, it is my home. So, just getting into it here, the curriculum usually is broken up into 6 units. So, Unit 1 is Born a Crime, and then the 100-word memoirs. Unit 2, the multicultural American poetry, where they then make historical context posters. And the Unit 3 is the myth of Maui. We usually watch Moana too, so that one's pretty fun. And then they do a hero's journey presentation at the end. And then we read and write children's literature, and they make kids' books. If you want to know a little bit more about that, please reach out and let me know. Then we read Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, and they do a traditional 5-paragraph analysis essay. And then we interrogate editorials where we read them and then write them. It's kind of secretly another essay, but we don't frame it that way. In class, we call it an argumentative article. So, a little bit about my syllabus. One of my biggest things is the 4 R's that students are coming into the classroom community being responsible, respectful, ready, and reliable every single day. And then the first 10 usually are spent reading. We will do silent reading pretty much every single day. And then on larger test days or reading days, work days, that sort of thing, we will have warm-ups instead. Then academic honesty is a big thing, especially in an English class, in any class, but in English class especially, where we are reading and writing every single day. So students are expected to produce their own academic work. I have a pretty much zero tolerance policy for AI. They do get one chance to redo an AI used assignment for 50% credit. After that, per the New West academic honesty policy, it does become a zero and a referral, but that will always be a conversation between the student and I and the parents involved. So that will never be a shocking surprise moment. We'll always talk about it first. And then, of course, citing sources when appropriate. My late work policy is that it is a 20% deduction every week that it is late. I do not accept it after the start of a new unit, and I do not accept it after a notebook check. So when we do have a notebook check, if that's done and gone, then I'm no longer going back and grading that again. So after the unit, after the notebook check, it is no longer being accepted. Materials every single day. We need that spiral notebook. I require 100 pages, but I recommend 150 so students have those extra pages in case something gets messed up. Pen, pencil, eraser, all the pretty traditional things, but also an independent reading book. They need one all the time. We talk about this in class. I send things home about it. It's not a surprise, but they will need an independent reading book at all times in my class. For homework, I don't explicitly give homework to students. I'll never be giving them something and saying, this is homework, take this home and do it at home. But if they do not finish it in class with the time provided in class, then it does become homework then. For grading, we have a new weighted categories for all of middle school ELA. This is across the board departmental push. So assessments are 60%, but I want to emphasize that assessments does not mean just tests. This is not a 60% category where they're just getting their tests put in. I wouldn't do that. Instead, it's larger unit tests, smaller quizzes, class discussions, essay drafts, final essays, and ed puzzles. Anything that is a smaller or bigger assessment where I am gauging what they are understanding, that goes in that category. Then prep work is primarily the notebook checks. That's anything small that's getting handed into me that's not an assessment, it's just a day-to-day thing. And then those bigger notebook checks where I'm grading all of the stuff we've been doing in class in one spot. It's weighted and the points are the same as if it's an individual assignment. However, it's all kind of one big one instead that we continually are keeping track of for those organizational skills. Google Classroom is updated frequently. All the time I'm putting in based on which unit we're doing. It's broken down into every individual unit and then independent reading. And I'm also putting updates and announcements on the stream pretty consistently. All right, that's pretty much everything about my class. If you have further questions, I'm really looking forward to this year. Please reach out to me. I am always very open to hear what you may need or have questions about. I know this was a lot of information very quickly, but I look forward to a great year. Thank you for watching.